There's something most men over 60 never suspect something sitting quietly in your kitchen, pretending to be heart healthy and wholesome. Grapes? Yes, those small, sweet fruits you toss into your morning cereal or snack on after dinner. But here's the shocker if you're not careful. Those innocent grapes could be draining your testosterone and sabotaging your confidence without you even knowing it. I'm Dr. Mark Hyman, MD. For over 3 decades, I've helped thousands of aging men reclaim their strength, vitality, and intimacy. And one truth has become undeniable. Food is either your greatest weapon or your quietest threat. In my clinic, I've seen men transform their lives simply by removing grapes from their diet, especially the non-organic kind. Why? Because grapes are among the most heavily pesticide-sprayed fruits in modern agriculture, and many of those pesticides are xenoestrogens chemicals that mimic estrogen in your body. As estrogen rises, your natural testosterone plummets. You may not feel it at first, but over time, the signs are clear belly fat, mood swings, decreased desire, and softer, weaker erections. Take Alan, one of my 67-year-old patients. He was eating 2 handfuls of grapes every day. When we removed them and focused on testosterone-friendly fruits instead, his morning energy, firmness, and confidence all returned within just 3 weeks. The truth is, even small hormonal shifts can have a massive impact on older men. So, if you're reaching for grapes, stop. And whatever you do, avoid grape juice. It's basically liquid sugar and pesticides in a bottle. Every morning, I watch older men reach for something they believe is harmless, even healthy. A fruit cup. A convenient little container filled with soft, colorful chunks that go down easy, especially with medications. But let me be clear. These canned fruit cocktails are one of the most deceptive traps for men over 60. I'm Dr. Mark Hyman, MD, and I've spent my career showing men how what they eat either builds them up or slowly breaks them down. When it comes to these fruit cups, the danger isn't just in the fruit, it's in the syrup they swim in. Most canned fruit is soaked in high fructose corn syrup or sugary concentrates. The moment that syrup hits your system, especially on an empty stomach, it sends your insulin skyrocketing. And when insulin spikes, nitric oxide, the very molecule that helps you achieve and maintain erections, plummets. Over time, this daily sugar bomb inflames your arteries, lowers your testosterone, and leaves you tired, heavy, and unmotivated. One of my patients, Raymond, 72, had been eating a fruit cocktail every day for over a decade. He complained of brain fog, fatigue, and zero desire in the bedroom. Once we eliminated those cups and swapped in real, low-sugar fruits, he slowly began to feel like himself again. Energy returned. Sleep improved. Even his wife noticed a spark. Even the no-sugar added versions are misleading. The fruit has been sitting in a can for months bleached, stripped of fiber, and chemically preserved. If you truly care about your vitality, leave those cups on the shelf and it might shock you, but one of the most common fruits I see on breakfast plates, the humble banana, could be one of the sneakiest enemies of your vitality after 60. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying bananas are toxic. They're convenient, familiar, and full of potassium. But for older men dealing with low energy, declining testosterone, or sluggish performance, bananas, especially overripe ones, may quietly be working against you. Let me explain. Bananas are loaded with simple sugars that hit your bloodstream fast, causing a spike in insulin. And when insulin rises, testosterone typically drops. Repeat this every morning, and you're training your body to lower your own male hormones. Worse, the serotonin boost bananas give you, while great for mood balance, can actually make you feel emotionally flat or foggy if it's mistimed. I remember one patient, Jerry, 68, who came in frustrated. He was sleeping well, eating what he thought was healthy, including bananas, every day, but he was feeling numb, disconnected, and unmotivated. Once we replaced bananas with berries and protein-rich breakfasts, his mornings completely changed. His mental clarity came back, his energy lifted, and his confidence in the bedroom. Let's just say his wife was thrilled. The lesson here isn't to demonize bananas, but to understand how even healthy foods can have unexpected effects. Especially when you're over 60, your hormones are more sensitive. If you're noticing lower drive or mental flatness, it might be time to rethink that daily banana. When most men over 60 try to cut back on sweets, one of the first switches they make is grabbing a handful of dried fruits, like raisins or dates. They feel like a smarter, more natural choice. But here's the truth. I wish every one of my patients knew dried fruits are often worse for your hormones than candy. Let's start with sugar concentration. A single cup of raisins can contain more sugar than a can of soda. Unlike fresh fruit, these sugars come without the fiber that helps slow digestion. That means your blood sugar spikes fast, insulin surges, and testosterone takes a nosedive in response. But it doesn't stop there. Many store-bought dried fruits are coated in vegetable oils to prevent sticking and preserved with sulfites to maintain their color. These additives can interfere with your body's ability to absorb zinc, a critical mineral for testosterone, sperm quality, and erection strength. I had a patient named Harold, 70, who proudly snacked on dates before bed, thinking it was a healthy dessert. But those dates were keeping his blood sugar elevated all night, disrupting his testosterone's natural overnight recovery. When we swapped them out for fresh blueberries and almonds, his sleep improved, and so did his morning performance. The truth is, dried fruits might look harmless, even nutritious. But for aging men aiming to reclaim their strength and confidence, they can quietly sabotage your progress. If you want your hormones to work with you, not against you, ditch the dried snacks and choose whole, low-sugar fruits instead. When a man walks into my clinic, looking tired, defeated, and convinced his best years are behind him, one of the first things I ask is simple. Have you tried pomegranate? This vibrant, ruby-red fruit is one of the most powerful tools we have to restore blood flow, boost testosterone, and reignite that inner fire many men fear they've lost forever. What makes pomegranate so unique is its rich content of punicalagins plant compounds with potent antioxidant effects. These antioxidants reduce oxidative stress, which is one of the silent killers of male performance after 60. But more importantly, they directly improve the function of your blood vessels. And as I always say, no blood flow, no performance. Pomegranate also enhances nitric oxide production, relaxing blood vessels and allowing for better circulation, especially where it matters most. Clinical studies show that drinking 100% pure pomegranate juice daily can lead to noticeable improvements in erectile function and salivary testosterone in just a few weeks. One of my patients, Daniel, 66, was skeptical. He hadn't had a firm morning in over a year. I asked him to add just a half cup of pomegranate seeds or a small glass of fresh juice to his morning routine. Within 3 weeks, his energy began to climb. After 6 weeks, he called me beaming. He said his wife noticed the difference before he did. This isn't about magic. It's about nourishment reel. Powerful food that fuels your manhood. Skip the sugar-loaded juices and go straight to the source. Whole pomegranate seeds or unsweetened juice. Your body will thank you. I'll never forget the first time I recommended Kiwi to one of my patients. Gerald, age 69. He looked at me like I was joking. That fuzzy green thing, he asked. But Kiwi isn't just a tropical garnish. For older men struggling with hormonal decline, low energy, and poor sleep, this small fruit is a nutritional powerhouse. Kiwi is loaded with vitamin C, sometimes even more than an orange. And that matters more than most men realize. Vitamin C plays a critical role in protecting the Leydig cells in your testes, the very cells that produce testosterone. When oxidative stress attacks these cells, your T levels begin to drop. Kiwi steps in as a shield, defending your manhood at a cellular level. But it doesn't stop there. Kiwi contains actinidin, an enzyme that helps break down proteins and improve nutrient absorption. Why does this matter? Because as we age, our digestion weakens. Even if you eat a healthy diet, your body might not absorb the nutrients that matter like zinc and magnesium. Two key minerals for erections and testosterone. Kiwi helps close that gap. Plus, studies show Kiwi reduces cortisol, the stress hormone that directly competes with testosterone. Lowering cortisol means your T has more room to thrive. Gerald started eating 2 kiwis a day, skin and all, and within a month he was sleeping better, thinking more clearly, and feeling more like himself again. Kiwi may look simple, but its impact is anything but. Add it to your breakfast, smoothie, or eat it whole. It's a tiny fruit that delivers big-time results. I remember sitting across from Mr. Jeffries, a 74-year-old retired firefighter, who told me he'd given up on intimacy. "Doc, it's just part of getting old," he sighed. But I knew better, and I handed him a simple prescription watermelon. Not pills, not testosterone injections, just watermelon. What most men don't know is that watermelon contains a compound called L-citrulline, which your body converts into L-arginine, a building block for nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes blood vessels and allows blood to flow freely. And when blood flows better, so does everything else. Watermelon works with your body, naturally boosting blood flow without putting stress on your heart. It's like nature's gentle version of a blue pill without the side effects. I told Mr. Jeffries to eat a couple slices on an empty stomach every morning. Not juice from the store, which is loaded with sugar, but the real deal, including the white rind just under the skin where L-citrulline is concentrated. Within a few weeks, Mr. Jeffries came back smiling. "Doc, I'm waking up feeling like I'm 40 again." He had better stamina, firmer mornings, and even noticed clearer thinking during the day. Watermelon is hydrating, low in sodium, and helps maintain vascular health long-term. Add it to a smoothie with ginger or lemon for an extra boost. Because the goal isn't just one strong moment, it's long-lasting energy, confidence, and intimacy. If you've written off your best years, maybe it's time to write them back in with a fruit that's sweet, powerful, and proven to work from the inside out. One morning, I sat down with Ben, a 69-year-old retired architect who confessed that he felt like his mind and body were slipping foggy, thinking, low energy, and almost no drive. His blood work showed oxidative stress levels through the roof. That's when I introduced him to a tiny but mighty ally, blueberries. Blueberries may look unassuming, but they're loaded with anthocyanins, powerful plant compounds that act like a cleanup crew inside your body. For men over 60, these compounds help fight oxidative stress, one of the biggest enemies of testosterone and vascular health. Ben started with just half a cup every morning fresh, not the sugary kind from cereal boxes. Whether in Greek yogurt or a smoothie, it didn't take long. Within 2 weeks, he told me he felt sharper. He could focus again, get through crossword puzzles faster, and even rekindled date nights with his wife. Blueberries help protect the very cells that produce testosterone, support healthy blood sugar levels, and enhance nerve sensitivity, all essential for physical performance and mental clarity. Their fiber content also keeps insulin in check, which is key because spikes in insulin suppress testosterone. And here's the bonus. Blueberries don't just work on your body, they elevate your mood, too. Improved brain function leads to better confidence, and confidence brings connection. So, if you've ever felt like you're living in a mental fog or just not quite yourself, don't overlook this small, dark blue fruit. Blueberries don't just protect what's left, they rebuild what's been fading, one bite at a time. Every man over 60 eventually reaches a moment when he wonders, is this just how aging feels? I've heard that question 1,000 times, and I've seen the answer change lives. In my practice, I've learned that it's not about magic pills or extreme diets. It's about making small, consistent choices, especially the food you put in your body. The truth is, certain fruits have quietly been stealing your strength, drive, and confidence. Grapes, canned fruit, bananas, and dried fruit might seem innocent. But for aging men, they can wreak havoc on testosterone, blood flow, and mood. But the good news, you have a choice. Pomegranate, kiwi, watermelon, and blueberries aren't just healthy. They're targeted tools to help you reclaim energy, boost testosterone, and revive intimacy. One of my favorite patients, Henry, 74, told me he thought his best days were behind him. But after just 30 days of shifting his fruit choices, he felt sharper, slept better, and rekindled the spark in his marriage. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about momentum. Each fruit is a small decision that moves you closer to the man you used to be, or better yet, the man you want to become now. So, take the first step. Replace the harmful fruits with healing ones. Your body still remembers how to thrive. Give it the right tools, and it will rise again stronger, more energized, and more confident than ever. Your next chapter starts with your next bite. You know, after all these years working with men over 60, I've come to realize something powerful. True change doesn't begin with big leaps. It starts with small, consistent choices like choosing the right fruit in the morning, or simply saying no to the sugar-loaded traps we grew up thinking were healthy. If you've been feeling off-tired, foggy, not quite yourself, you're not alone. Thousands of men I've worked with have felt that same quiet frustration. But here's the good news. Your body still remembers how to thrive. Your testosterone, your energy, your confidence, they haven't disappeared. They've just been waiting for you to give them the right tools to come alive again. Fruits like pomegranate, kiwi, watermelon, and blueberries aren't magic potions, but they support your biology in ways that stack up. Over weeks, over months, they create a momentum. That momentum becomes your comeback story. So, Take the first step. Swap out one bad fruit. Add in one good one. And do it not just for your health, but for your vitality, your joy, and your connection with the people you love. I've seen men in their late 70s rebuild their strength, their relationships, even their passion for life. And it started right here with awareness, with courage, and with choosing differently. You've got this.